Welcome to Cabinet on Tuesday 18th of June 2019 at 4:30 p.m. Welcome everybody. Membership of the committee, we have got members here. We've got apologies from Cassie Scott, and we've got two new Cabinet members, Councillor Cal Patterson, welcome, and Councillor Rob Walker, welcome. And our thanks once again to Councillor Masood Ahmed, who was on the Cabinet for the last 2 years. Because of personal reasons, he has to step aside, and I wish him best of luck. But he's still around. He's on the police authority. Item number 2, minutes of previous meeting. Are you okay? Okay. Any interest? If you've got any interest, please use the form and let me know before the meeting finishes. Item 4, public. We've got no members of the public, but we have got our friendly reporter, Mr. Earnshaw. Welcome. From the examiner, as always. Thank you. Item 5 in deputations. I don't think we've got any. Yeah. Public question time. There's no public. We've got a member question time, but you're going to raise that under item 12. Is that right, Councillor Munro? Yes, thank you very much. Item 8, council financial outturn. Councillor Graham Turner. Thank you.
Chair, thank you. This, as members will know, is the outturn and rollover report for 2018-19. This is, as you would expect, a lengthy and detailed document. The points to note are that we more or less came in on budget with a slight underspend of £200,000, which equates to 0.7% of the total revised budget of £275 million. As has now been the norm for a number of years, we had to reduce spending on services due to the continuation of the government's current austerity programme, and delivered £13.1 million worth of cuts against a target of £16.2 million. Which equates to 81%. This was mitigated by underspending other parts of the organisation amounting to £3.3 million. As Cabinet will have noted, we are continuing to face growing demand in our SEND provision, and whilst we did receive some extra funding from central government, a longer term solution to the underfunding for some of our most challenging and different children is long overdue. However, I don't see any evidence that this issue is likely to be addressed anytime soon by the current government. As is highlighted in the report, funding for local authorities still remains both uncertain and certainly inadequate. As public spending review and fair funding review, government's terms not mine, the government has been busy consulting on, seems to have been joining the Green Paper on adult social care in the very long grass. This constant uncertainty around local government funding is not helpful for our longer term planning and, more importantly, our residents who rely on the services the council provides. We have worked in our reserves position and have moved to a system that is a bit more explicit about the potential use of reserves, and have increased them in line with last year's budget. Given all the current uncertainties, both in funding and the economy, I believe it's wise to ensure we have sufficient reserves to cover ourselves in these uncertain times. And as usual, the level of reserve will be up to discussion, but by being more explicit in what reserves could be spent on, will, I hope, reassure residents and elected members of the need for the reserve position we have taken. As always been the norm, when we have an underspend in the capital, plan. This is due to a number of factors. However, I am confident that we are in a much stronger position than ever before to ensure that we deliver our capital investments over the coming years. However, that's not to say we will not get some setbacks due to factors outside our control. But we as an administration are committed to an ambitious programme that we will deliver over the coming years. Chair, I ask Cabinet to recommend that the underspend should be spent on supporting a coordinated healthy holiday programme through a partnership of 60 organisations. This will allow those most in need to access services such as healthy meals, nutritional education and exercise. I see this very much as an investor save project, as well as being one that helps some of our most disadvantaged children over the difficult summer holiday period. Chair, can I ask Cabinet to approve this report and recommendation on page 15 of today's agenda?
Can we agree with that? I second that. Are we okay to move that? Thank you, members. Item 4, corporate performance report. I'm moving that. Just a few highlights from the report. Firstly, Kirklees is rated as the 6th best council for adult social care. We also know that our neighbour Halifax is rated the 9th, and I thank Mr. Earnshaw for highlighting that. But we are 6th, so I'm hoping that Mr. Earnshaw will report that you know we're actually doing something right, and we're really proud of that achievement. Also, I'd like to say that we've got an economic strategy that's been adopted by full council, and you know in the next few weeks we'll see some of the meat coming to the bones in terms of the master plan, and you know we'll all be there, and the examiner hopefully will be there, and we want to make sure that we actually make the best out of that, because it's going to be a massive improvement to our town on a future plan in terms of developing the economic strategy. And creation of 1,300 jobs through the city region, 7.3 million pounds in grant, which has levered in 23 million quid. So these are some of the highlights. There's also some issues that we need to actually just be mindful of in terms of healthy life expectancy. We need to do a lot more work on that, but that's because of the health inequality we have. You know, northern towns are by default an austerity and the kind of lifestyles, you know, more deprived. But we need to make sure that we actually understand that and start to address some of the issues. So without further ado, I'd like to move the recommendations as highlighted in the report. Have I got a second? Thank you. Thank you. Seconded and approved. Item 10, Kirklees Communities Partnership Plan. Councillor Carol Patterson.
Thank you. The Communities Partnership Plan has been developed over the last 3 years, over the last year, having consulted with the Partnership Board and Overview and Scrutiny Committee, and it draws upon the information that comes from the strategic intelligence assessment that the partnership pulls together. It covers the years, well, that strategic and intelligent assessment covers the 3 years previous up to 2018. And this plan covers 2018 to 2021, and it's covering, come up with some strategic priorities from that information. And it's here today. It's been approved by the Communities Board, and it is here today because it is part of the Council's policy framework and would normally be going forward to the full Council to be adopted as part of that framework. However, as a new Cabinet member, I've obviously been asking a few questions and looking at things perhaps with a fresh eye and not with the same sort of history that others have. And I feel that we need to just have a further look at this before it actually becomes part of that, the policy framework of the Council. Things have changed quite rapidly over the last 12 months since the information that was collected that informed this plan, and I just want to make sure that we have included everything in it that is of concern to our residents in Kirklees. So actually I am going to propose that we actually don't accept the officer's recommendations here today, and that we do come back to a further Cabinet meeting.
Thank you, Councillor Carol Patterson. Anybody else want to add anything? No, I'm glad that you've actually had a fresh look at with a fresh pair of eyes, and I think your analysis is spot on. Things are moved on, and one of the things, I don't know if you mentioned it, but we need to also make sure some of our partners are here as well, so we can actually make sure that, you know, for example, the police, who are actually part of a key part of this, are here, so we can actually then do a joint presentation. So yes, I agree with that. Okay with that, members? Thank you very much. Next item is item 11, which is the corporate plan. Just a quick recap. We agreed this last year in July. It was a 2-year plan, and what we agreed to do was we will refresh the plan. This year, what we've done is we've actually looked at what we've actually achieved. So I don't want to go into the details, but it shows that, you know, what we've delivered. It also features some of the great offices we have. because although this council will be endorsed here and then it will go to full council for approval, I think it's really, really important that we stress that it's very, very important that we acknowledge the hard work our staff put in, because you know, the plan is actually just a reflection, a bit of a reflection on our staff, and I hope that when it goes to full council, you know, we have a good analysis of it. We try to keep away from playing politics, but at the same time, right here, we acknowledge the hard work the staff have put in, because whatever we discuss in the council chamber amongst the 69 councillors, our staff do watch what we do and what we say, and we need to make sure that you know, to achieve our ambitions and our objectives, you know, we pass a very strong message on of support, of encouragement and of motivation, because the plan has got a lot of stuff on. It actually shares our 7 outcomes, how we want to deliver that, and it also talks about how people, places and partners will work together in delivering the ambition of this council. I'd also like to thank the scrutiny committee, who actually has done a lot of work in actually looking at this piece of work, and they've actually provided a lot of response back in terms of clarity and focus in terms of how the refreshed version can actually be improved further. We'll take that on board. And they've also fed into how we've delivered over the last year in terms of our commitments, which will be shared at full council. And one of the things that they've actually highlighted very clearly is the section on safeguarding in a safe and cohesive manner, and how we're addressing child sexual exploitation. And again, that feedback has come from our scrutiny committee, which I welcome. There's a few of the little bits and bobs that they fed back, which will actually go into the plan. So this has been to leading members. It will go to full council. So I'd like the Cabinet to endorse the recommendations with a view to it going to full council. Thank you very much.
I endorse your comments. I think it's a very important document, this, because this informs our plans, our policies, our priorities. It's reflected in our budget considerations. And I could think back over the year, if we go back some 5 or 6 years, we didn't take these documents that seriously. They weren't having that impact. There was, in some parts, there was a lot of verbiage. I think it's now becoming more focused and more evidently we can say, well, judge us by our behaviour. Our behaviour will be reflected in this document.
Thank you. Are we seconded by Peter? Yes. And Christina is here, who's one of the policy officers who's actually put a lot of work in. So thank you, Christina, and pass our thanks to all the team that's been involved with this too. So thank you very much. Next item is item 12, Huddersfield Business Improvement District. Is that?
I'll move that, Chair.
No, Peter?
This is a bid by Huddersfield Partnership, which is a group of businesses who put together a business plan together with the support of Kirklees. We've lent them officers to be able to, officer time to be able to do this. It's a plan which will be put to other businesses throughout the whole of Huddersfield. It'll be put forward, what will be put to them will be a vote whether or not they would approve of the idea of an increased rate. Could be an increase of 0.75 or it could be 1.5, which would raise a significant sum of money to be invested in various activities in the town, or various things that we could do in the town, for example, on lights, on markets, on highway signage, on parking, on cleansing, waste collection, community safety and so on. The priorities of what the money would be spent on would be determined by a board made up of members of that group. In order for this to go ahead, it's got to be approved by the majority in a vote of all businesses across Huddersfield Town Centre, and also that majority has got to include a majority of the costing of the values, and it's only businesses that will be affected where they're paying rateable values of over 12,000 a year. One of the ratepayers, of course, is Kirklees, and therefore we are deferring income on all of our properties in order to make that contribution. So we are supportive of the bid. We hope it comes forward. When it does, hopefully successfully, it will complement what we're going to do, what we're already doing in terms of initiatives in the town centre, and what we intend to do further, as will be rolled out next week in the master plan.
Thank you, Peter. Anybody else want to say anything? Nahid?
I'd like to support this bid. I think it will help in the regeneration of our town centre. Other bids in the district in West Yorkshire have definitely helped. It engages the businesses, and that's what we want, more people getting involved in what the town centre looks like, how it should feel, how we can improve it, can only be a good thing. And as Peter says, the reveal of the town centre plan on the 26th, this will enhance, or it will definitely sit alongside and do a great deal in relation to having the businesses in the town centre engaged, more than, say, all of us engaging in terms of the town ourselves, the local authorities. We will have the businesses, major businesses in our town centre saying, we are supporting this because it's a good thing. And I think next month they should all vote and say that they are supportive of the bid for Kirklees district.
Okay, Rob?
Yeah, thank you. Can I also speak strongly in support of the bid? The work that I undertook last year as chair of the Economy and Neighbourhood Scrutiny, the cross-party panel looked both at economic development in general, but also looked at the plans for Huddersfield Town Centre. And there was strong cross-party consensus that working with business and establishing strong partnerships is absolutely vital in terms of the prosperity and development of Huddersfield and Kirklees more widely. So I think this kind of approach is exactly the kind of thing that we should be looking for.
Councillor Graham Turner?
Chair, excuse me, I totally support this. This is part of the new way of doing things. It's working with and not doing to, and involving local business to help them define their future has got to be a positive. So, as I said, it's working with and not doing to.
Can I just point out we were recommending 6.1, 6.2 of the officers' recommendations, and 7.3, which is an additional recommendation.
Councillor Alison Munro, you want to say something?
Thank you very much. I'd just like to say that I do think this is a great idea to have a collaboration between the council and local businesses. But I have just got one or two questions. First of all, is the vision of the bid is to develop Huddersfield into a place which celebrates its culture and heritage. So with specific reference to culture and heritage, I just wondered what kind of development that will entail, please. Thanks.
Councillor Peter McBride, and also you can chip in after with yourself.
This, of course, is not the master plan. What the money is spent on will be determined by that board. It will be the members of that board who will be all business people who will prioritise. They will obviously take account of the significance of our heritage. They will also take account of what we intend to do, as will be developed fully in the master plan. They will take into account, and they will complement initiatives that we will take. So I can't literally predict exactly what they're going to do, because that would be, well, to take away from them what this is all about, that they decide what the priorities will be. Bear in mind, in large money terms, this is a small amount to complement the massive amount that the council is committed to do, together with its, what we say, with partners with huge sums of money, like the Combined Authority and like Network Rail.
Okay.
Your question is going to be answered by three members, so I'll bring you in. Councillor Rob Walker?
Yeah, as Peter says, the focus for this has got to be determined, really, I guess, by the partners who are involved. But just some signposts for things that are likely to happen. I think last week we saw the Woven Textiles Festival, which was extremely successful, over 100 different events, and lots of people involved. The fashion show down at the University of Huddersfield on Saturday It was an amazing event with over 20 schools involved, lots of youngsters and their parents, relatives turning up to look at the work they'd done. And I think, well, I would hope that our textile heritage, which is, after all, what this town is based on, and most of the surrounding communities, I would hope that that theme will be extended as part of this initiative. Already we've committed to a further Woven Festival in 2021, in 2 years' time, which I know people are really excited about, just from conversations I've had while I've been attending events. Lots of people are coming forward already with some really exciting ideas for things to happen both in Huddersfield and our other important textile centres such as Backley and Dewsbury. The other thing I think which is on the cards, and consultation is taking place at the moment, is looking at our music as a really strong theme in the heritage, the culture of Huddersfield and Kirklees more broadly. And I would hope that this initiative will feed into the work that's been undertaken working towards 2023, which is hopefully going to be Year of Music within Kirklees.
Councillor Nahid, Mother.
My understanding as a board member is the bid will lend additionality to the current services in partnership with the council, so it will enhance the overall menu of what's on offer to the residents of our district.
Thank you. Councillor Monroe, you've got another question?
That's great, thank you. It's really exciting to hear that news. Right, my next question is, in relation to Objective 3. How will they achieve the objective of a safe and attractive place to be in a budget of £130,000 a year? Might that grow if more businesses come on board? That's a question. Thank you.
I think it's important to understand that the amount that they will complement things that are already going on. So there's a limit to what you can achieve with the amount that's predicted that will be forthcoming. But I'm sure it'll be well spent and will genuinely complement what we intend to spend. So again, I can't answer that question directly without reference to them.
Additionality is the word, and I think sometimes you don't need the money, you need the engagement, the enthusiasm, the involvement to enhance the overall product that's on offer. And hopefully this very exciting venture will enable us to do that.
Okay, I've just got one more question. It's it's financial, 3.5.2. There will also be a further investment requirement from the council in terms of council-owned buildings in the bid area that would be contributors towards the estimated additional 2.4 million bid levy. Which buildings does this refer to, and are they currently occupied?
All the buildings that we own.
Okay, Councillor.
Sorry, it's just a supplementary to that. So, would it be possible to be sent a list of those buildings, or
we own? We could be forward.
We have a list. What list of what we own? What, in Huddersfield Town Centre or where?
Well, in relation to the bid area.
I'm sure we can get information for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Monroe, for the question, and thank you, Cabinet members, for a really positive reply. Item 13, but before we go on to item 13, we've all seen item 15. So we don't need to go in private session. So we all read that. So now we can go back to item 13. And is that Councillor Dave Turner?
Yeah, Chair, as you mentioned, members have all read the private papers, so there's no need to go into private session. So can I ask that Cabinet approve the contracted terms as set out in the private papers?
Right, Councillor Peter Murray seconded. Are we all okay with that? Thank you, members, and thank you very much for attending.